Hey guys, this is Kevin from JazTime.com, and today we'll be comparing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph, reference number 26320.OO.D002CR.01 versus the AP Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Diver, reference number 15707CE.OO.A002CA.01. Of course, well, those reference numbers are quite the mouthful. We'll have links to them in the description below. Okay, just to let you know, we'll be comparing the case, the bezel, the dial, the straps, the clasp, and the movement, and we'll talk about a couple of special features that these Audemars Piguet watches have. So let's go ahead and compare the case first. The case size of this the Rose Gold Chronograph is 41 millimeters, and that's from my index finger to my thumb. For the diver is just slightly larger, it's being 42 millimeters in diameter, once again from my index finger to my thumb here. Okay. While that 1 millimeter difference isn't too much, the thickness is actually where it matters on these two watches. So with the chronograph, the thickness of the case is only 10.88 millimeters thick, has a much lower profile. As you can see, it doesn't protrude as much from either direction, opposed to the diver, which thickness is 14.10 millimeters thick. And you can see it has a much higher profile. This is definitely something to keep in mind if you wear a suit often, as a higher profile watch can get stuck in the cuff or stretch out the cuff. So always think about the profile of a watch when purchasing as well. See there? You can see the chronograph would definitely fit under a suit cuff very easily and very nicely. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to comparing the dial. Okay, so here's the dials. As you can see, they both have black dials, but both have sort of this square pattern going on in the background. As you see, I can tilt the diver under the light, it's more viewable. They both have this square patterning in the background. And the term coined by Audemars Piguet is for the chronograph, it is the grand tapisserie, while the diver's pattern is called the mega tapisserie. So what's the difference? Well, the difference really is just the size of the squares. As you can see, there is much more black squares patterning around the chronograph watch, while the divers has larger black squares are not as numerous. Okay. Moving on, the index markers for both watches are white, with the diver's index markers being a little bit larger, so it has a little more viewability to it. They're both luminous up to 8 hours, but of course, once again, because the diver's index markers are larger, they have more readability to the dial. Okay. One thing to note is that the chronograph has 3 subdials. So you see there, the left subdial tracks a 12-hour cycle with the 12, 3, 6, and 9 indicated there, while the second dial tracks the 15, 30, 45, and 60 seconds, and the right dial tracks the 30-minute cycle, being the 10, 20, and 30 indicated on the right there. And I'll go ahead and explain more about that in the special features later on in the video. Okay. And they both have the both of these watches both have the date function, of course, but the divers is at the 3 o'clock position, while the chronographs is between the 4 and 5 o'clock position, and they both have the ability to be quickly set, and I'll demonstrate that later on in the video as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the straps. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the chronograph straps first. So this is the chronograph strap. It's a black alligator leather. It's very nice, very sleek. There is a tapering from the case point where the bracelet meets, or the strap meets the case. It tapers downwards into a thinner strap. Reason for that is more durability, holding up here, and also it makes a nice curvature around the wrist. Okay, the diver does the same as well, but the diver's is a black rubber strap, as you can see here. And it also does the same thing as tapering down from the case downwards. It gives that nice wrap around the wrist, makes it very comfortable to wear. And let's move on to the buckles now. So with the buckles, the Chronographs has an 18-karat rose gold buckle. They call it, AP calls it the folding clasp buckle, and the Diver has just a very simple stainless steel pin buckle. They both work a little bit differently, but I'll let you decide which one feels more comfortable to you. So with the Chronographs, it uses a hinge like that. As you can see, it has a little pin that you can press down into one of the leather slots right there, and it also folds out into a clasp, which is nice there. As you can see, so it closes on like that, and you can adjust it with that pin. So let's just say you want a little bit, a little bit moderate there. Okay, very simple, very easy to use. Pops open, pops down, nice and easy clasp. Don't have to do too much adjustment, and you can take it on and off very easily. With the pin buckle, it's very simple, but I feel like this one's a little bit more durable. That's just my opinion though. As you can see, it's just what you have to do is you just have to pull the strap. Okay, oops. And you just lock the pin into any one of these slots. Goes in, slides through. See, a little more work in that part, as you can't just take it off and throw it on as easily as just popping open a clasp and slapping it on your wrist. So, but I feel like there could be accidents where you accidentally pop open the bracelet and it falls. Probably won't fall off your hand, but be a little nuisance. So I do like just the very basic stainless steel pin buckle in terms of security. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the case backs now. So the case back of the case back of the Chronograph has the model name, of course, indicated right there. It's very beautiful, very shiny. Has a nice sand finish border all around, and the edges are actually high polished to give it even more of a shine, and more reflectability against the light. So it's really nice there, very eye appealing. The Diver, however, has a very nice exhibition case. As you can see there, the exhibition case, you can actually see the movement and the oscillator weight right there move as well, and it has the model name engraved on the top of the case here. So the case back is very nice. It's exhibition case back. As you can see, it is a translucent sapphire crystal, letting you see the inner workings of the watch, the movement, the oscillator weight, jiggling that big gold piece jiggling right there. That's 22 carats of gold. It has the model name, the Royal Oak Offshore, engraved at the top there. It's still very nice to look at overall. Definitely a piece to talk about if you're to take this off and show it to a friend or such. It'd be like really cool. But besides that, the watch is usually going to sit on your wrist, so this exhibition case back will be hidden for most of the time. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the movement of these watches. The movement of the Rose Gold Chronograph is Audemars Piguet's in-house movement, and it's a 2380 self-winding caliber 2385 movement that has a total of 37 jewels and made up of 304 different parts, and allows for that chronograph feature, which is another way of saying a timer or a stopwatch. I'll discuss that a little bit later, and the ability to set the date quickly. In addition to all that, it has a 40-hour power reserve. The Diver, the ceramic black Diver, uses AP's in-house self-winding manufacturer caliber 3120, a non-chronograph movement, and makes use of 40 jewels and 280 different parts, and offers basic watch features of just tracking the hour, minutes, seconds, along with setting the date quickly. And it has a 60-hour power reserve. The water resistance is a obvious comparison of these two watches, as one is a diver's watch and one isn't. So the one that isn't a diver's watch, the chronograph here on my left, has a water resistance up to 50 meters or 160 feet, 64 feet of water resistance, while the diver here on my right hand has 300 meters or 1,000 feet of water resistance. Okay, so let's go ahead and compare the bezels of these watches now. So the chronograph has a nice satin finished bezel all around with a high polish around the edges. As you can see, very reflective, very shiny against the light. But the downside of it is it can be scuffed more easily, as it is sort of like a protrusion as it sticks out from the watch, so it might get damaged much more easily. The diver has the same kind of idea. It has a ceramic bezel, and also additionally has that high polish around the edges as well. As you can see there, has a nice high polish around as well to give it a nice shine, nice shine overall. Okay, but now you're probably wondering, but which one's actually better? Well, it's really up to preference of how you like the durability of the watch. While the rose gold on the AP on the chronograph is not as scratch resistant as the diver. Okay, so you're probably wondering which one is better. Well, the rose gold chronograph can be scuffed much more easily. The bezel can be scuffed much more easily. It can be polished out, but you might damage the bezel a little bit more. Whereas the ceramic bezel is very scratch resistant. However, if you're to actually bump the ceramic bezel against something very roughly, you can actually potentially crack the whole bezel, which is a huge downside and is probably extremely expensive to repair. And so really it's up to you. If you don't mind a few scratches over time, definitely go with the chronograph. But if you're worried about scratches a lot, you want to keep it in the best condition possible, but it has that high risk, high reward, then the ceramic would be much better in terms of being scratch resistant. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to a few special features now. So with the quick set date feature that I mentioned earlier, I'm going to just show you guys this one on the chronograph. Remember, the date is located at between the 4 and 5 o'clock position down there. I'm going to go ahead and show you this on the chronograph watch, and same idea on the diver. So you just have to unwind the crown from that wearing position that was snug against the crown to the hand winding position, which is when you can wind the watch. Just a gentle click, and you'll be able to adjust the date. As you can see there, I can adjust the date very quickly, very easily. Every time it adjusts, there's a single click. It's very easy to use. Okay, always make sure to screw the crown back against the case to keep it water resistant. Okay, and the next feature I want to talk about for the chronograph is the chronograph feature. So over here you have a chronograph pusher at the 2 o'clock position and a chronograph pusher at the 4 o'clock position. Now, a little history on the chronograph feature is that the chronograph feature was invented to help with the aid of tracking horse races at the time. So if you hadn't noticed, the second hand has not moved a single time. This main second hand hasn't moved a single time since I've started this comparison. Well, this chronograph pusher up here at the 2 o'clock actually starts the second hand, as you can see there. Okay, so I want to talk about the chronograph feature, which is that timer stopwatch feature I was talking about earlier. So at the 2 o'clock position and the 4 o'clock position, there are these chronograph pushers. If you have noticed, since the very start of this video, the second hand hasn't moved at all since I've started. So you can actually start it with the top chronograph pusher at the 2 o'clock position, and you can also stop it as well. See there, I stopped it at the 5 second mark. Okay, and with that you can just actually press this press the bottom pusher at the 4 o'clock position to reset that second hand back to that 12 o'clock position. Not only will that reset that to the 12 o'clock position, but these two subdials here on the left and the right, the one with the 30-minute cycle and the 12-hour cycle, will also be reset to that 12 o'clock at the 12 o'clock position, or the northernmost position as well. Because when this does a full revolution, this will it will move the 1 minute in the 30-minute subdial, and 2 revolutions of the 30 minutes will move 1 tick in the 12-hour subdial, and that's all reset by this chronograph pusher down here. And it only can be reset once the pusher has stopped. You can't reset it while it's moving. It won't allow you to, so you have to stop it and reset it, which is a pretty cool feature. Pretty cool feature to have. You can track a little back history. The reason why the chronograph feature was invented was to aid in the tracking of horse races. So you can use that. You can start that second hand, and then you could just stop it right when a horse passes the finish line, and bam, you can write down the time at the exact second mark, and then just reset it, and then pull this out and reset it back to normal. So pretty cool feature to have. And let me go ahead and show you the special feature on the diver now. Okay, so with the diver's features, we have this we have the rotating bezel, the inner rotating bezel ring inside the dial itself. As you can see, it's sitting under the sapphire crystal, labeled in that nice orange with 60-minute graduated all around. All we have to do to use it is we just have to unscrew this bezel crown up here at the top left at the 11 o'clock position, and that pops right out, and you just turn it counterclockwise or clockwise. As you can see, it just turns that bezel. So what's the point of that? Well, this is a diver's watch, so it helps in the aiding of tracking elapsed time. So let's just say you're going diving and you want to track how long you've been underwater. So you would just move the bezel, as I just did, to where the minute hand is, where the minute hand is, and from the minute hand you can track by these indicators of how much time has elapsed up to an hour. So if this orange hand moves down here, that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so on and so forth. But it's not only used for diving. For everyday use, you can track, your mile time if you're a runner, or even if you park at a mall and you just want to know that you want to know how much time you have left on the parking meter, you can set that as well. It's very simple, very easy to use. It is only unidirectional though, so it moves to the left, and that's it. And of course, always make sure to screw the crowns back down. So let me actually go ahead and show you, the chronograph on my wrist. See there, it pops right there, and that's the chronograph on the wrist. It's very nice. That rose gold really shines, and the black dial is just so very nice and sleek compared to that rose gold popping out of it. Okay, so I hope this comparison helped you see the similarities and differences between these two watches. Really is just a matter of taste of which one you would prefer, or what you'd be doing with these watches. Would you be wearing them every day? Would you be using them for just casual wear, or maybe that special occasion? Are you looking for more of a sporty watch, less of a sporty watch? I mean, really, it's all up to your preferences when it comes down to it. But if I would make a suggestion, if you're looking for something more classy, more simple, and kind of everyday casual wear, or even for that special occasion, I would definitely go with the chronograph watch, as the low profile helps it fit under clothes very nicely. And while the dial has a little bit too much going on there, it still really keeps simple, as it's not too crowded, and it's just overall very nice with that black alligator leather. Okay, but if you're looking for a more durable, more serious watch, go with the diver. A diver has a very nice black overall. That pattern, it keeps nice and simple. The chronograph isn't, the dial isn't too crowded. Very easy to read, as with the index markers being bigger. But overall, these are both really high quality watches. But for whatever you decide, check out our prices at JazTime.com. We have the lowest price guaranteed. We offer free shipping. We offer free shipping and a 1-year warranty. If you like the video and you want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.